Welcome back. Today we'll discuss on channel concept in wireless communication. Now, as a user interested to access the wireless resources, before he request to the wireless database through a channel. A channel is nothing but a time will be allocated to each user plane through which he will access the information. And again, depends on availability of a resources at the data or at the network side, it will allocate the resources to the user, and this way the communication process will be performed. Now, when we discuss on a request made through the time will be given as TS0, TS1, TS2, TS7. Means there's a total 8 slots will be available. You can see this 8 time slot will be available. It will be continuously rotated. Okay, means let us take that I am a user. Okay, I will be allocated one certain time interval TS0. For the second, means if it is allocated to me, the time in which I will be getting the resources from the network side. If I am interested, I will get the information. Means I will get the resources. Once the TS0 is over, again the TS1 will be comes into picture. Means the next time interval. It is allocated to the second user. Okay, you may assume that TS1 will be allocated to second user, TS3 will be for the third user, fourth user, like this up to how many users? 8 users will be allocated. Again, after the TS7, again it will be comes for the TS0 for the first user. Means like this the time will be getting repeated, so that each will be assumed that he will be getting a resources continuously from the network end. Okay, this is what the channel concept. It will be most popular in the wireless communication. Okay, there are various channels will be available. It will be divided into logical channel, physical channel, and the transport channel. In detail, we will discuss in further classes. Okay, now whatever the time division which is available, TS0, TS1, we call it as a logical channel. Okay, now in the logical channel, there might be the different types of channels will be available. One is what I told, logical channel, in which there are a broadcast channels, a broadcast control channel, frequency correction channel, synchronization channel. Okay, now you can understand the broadcast channel is something like this. Okay, in most of the a mobile phone, you might be getting a signal towers. Okay, now like this. Okay, now this way communication. There is the strength of the signal will be coming. The strength of the signal is indicated by your nearby base station. Okay, through how? Through the broadcast channel. Means it is a broadcasting to all the mobile phones which are coming under the cell. So through this channel, the information, means strength of the power will be coming for each mobile phones. Okay. Similarly, the frequency correction channel, means frequency correction is nothing but a synchronization between the user and the base station. Okay, through which once it is synchronized, okay, the synchronized acknowledgement will be transmitted through the synchronized channel. So this is how the operation will be happening. Okay, you can get a picture for your logical channel. Is a channel is nothing but a time slot. You can assume like this. Okay, there's the various channels will be available. Common control channel. There's a paging channel, random access channel, access grant channel. Okay, now there is a very important factor to be considered is a paging. Paging is nothing but, okay, now I'll assume that there is a cell. Okay, there is a cell. Okay, and each cell will be given a one unique ID. Okay, let us take that unique ID is x1, x2 and x3. It is given by the subscriber. Okay, let us take, okay, the x1 is given for the cell number 1. Okay, I'll take cell number 1, cell number 2, cell number 3. Okay, means the cell number 1 is continuously paging, means it is an advertisement. It is advertising that this is a cell number 1, cell number 1. Okay, that is a x1. Let us take that if your mobile phone comes under this cell, it will get this paging information, so that your mobile phone will be getting updated to the cell number 1 as x1. Okay, now how it will understood? Through the paging channel, through the paging messages. The who has sent, the base station is continuously emitting that this is a cell number 1, cell number 1. Okay, you can assume that, okay, you can correlate something like each area is divided into something like a pin number, that is a pin code number. Okay, similarly each cell will be given with a one unique ID. That unique ID is continuously emitted by the tower as x1. Okay, now your mobile phone has to get updated to the x1, means it will assume that, okay, I am in x1 cell. Immediately, okay, assume that you are in a mobile, means you are continuously, you are in a movement. Okay, if you reach to the second cell x2, now the cell number 2, it is not emitting x1, it is emitting as a x2, means your mobile phone is previously updated to which advertisement information, x1. Now where it is reached? It is reached at the cell number 2, means you are not getting x1 here, what you are getting x2, means is a paging by the channel, means your mobile phone has to get updated to x2. Okay, means it will be internally, it will be happening here. Okay, sometime, okay, you can check this. Okay, in the mobile settings you may understood that. Okay, let us take that, assume, okay, you are in a some certain location. Okay, y location, z location, w location. Okay, now if you are reached to the y location, you are getting a x1. If you are reached to the z location, you are getting x2. If you are reached to the w location, you are getting x3. Okay, this is what the paging will be happening here. Okay, and random access channels. Okay, that is for the communication purpose we are using this one. Okay, access grant channel. If your request for any resources for your network, once it is allocated through the grant channel. Okay, and again there are like a dedicated control channels. There's a standalone dedicated control channel, slow associated control channel, fast associated control channel, cell broadcast channel. Okay, these are like a channels. Okay, just I'll say slow and the fast. Okay, sometime, okay, if you're in a cell number 1, okay, that is a x1, and immediately when you transfer to the cell number 2, x2, okay, that is what your information all the way has to be get transferred from x1 to x2. Okay, through what? Okay, means temporarily it will keep onto the slow channel. There is like a temporary, there is a box, it will be kept onto the box. Okay, slow channel. Okay, once it is catch up with like x2, again it will be taken back from the slow channels, means message will be taken back. Okay, you can in detail we'll see here. Okay, now this is how the time slots will be divided, frame and the subframe. Okay, you can see one hyperframe will be given as 2048 subframes. Okay, there is a 2048. Okay, now is a time slot. It is obviously it is a time slot, and each slot will be subdivided into 50 and 26. It is a multi-frames. One hyperframe. Again, each slot. Okay, like look at this in the top like a frame, hyperframe. There is a 2048 superframes, and each frame has a 50 and 26 multi-frames. Again, in the multi-frame, look at this. In the top, I have like a 50. In the bottom, I have like a 26. Okay, there's a top we have 51, and the bottom we have a 26. Okay, in the top, each having a 25 again multi-frames. Okay, in the bottom again there are like a 51 multi-frames. Okay, it is repeated here. Okay, I hope you can see here. Okay, each one there's a fifth will be having 50 comma 51 comma 26, and the 51 again having 26, and 26 again having 51. Okay, again in the 26, okay, in the 26 each one having 8 slots. Okay, this is how the division means. Okay, you can see that. Okay, I am the user 1, I will be in the bottom, I am accessing a TS0. Okay, if the second user, you will be accessing a TS1, TS2 continuously. So at a time you can see there is like a how many 8 into, okay, like let us take that, I will go into left side, 26 into again 51, okay, 51 into 2048. These many slots are coming at a one particular time interval. Okay, you can assume that there are like these many users can access at a time interval TS0. Okay, that is how the wireless communication is efficient, so that it will provide a service to the n number of peoples. That's obviously n will be defined with the n 26 51 like this. Okay, and each, okay, I hope you can see in the bottom what is the time duration of one TS0 is nothing but a 4.651 millisecond. Okay, I hope you can see 4.651 millisecond, and this millisecond, okay, it is a total time duration. Okay, the total time duration will be 4.615 millisecond. If I divide by 8, you may get here 0.548 microsecond, I guess so. Okay, now there is like a, if I multiply here 26, okay, 120 millisecond. I'll just go with the left side, 120 millisecond. That's a 4.61 into 26. You will get here 120 millisecond, and 120 millisecond again it will be multiplied with the 51. Obviously, you will get here 4.612 seconds. Okay, 4.612 seconds. Again, if I multiply with here 2048, obviously it will come here 3 hours 28 minutes 53 seconds. Okay, there is a this many frames will be coming. Okay, at a regular interval of 3 hours 28 minutes. Okay, you just divide, check and divide this, you may end up with like a 3 hours 28 minutes. Obviously, you will get it the seconds, you convert into hours, so that will come with the exact answer. Okay, now this is a detailed diagram of a LTE end-to-end network architecture. This is how we will proceed here. Okay, now most of the time I had discussed with the base station, mobile phone and all this. Okay, you just go from the bottom, user equipment, UE, LTE. I hope you can see there is like wherever I have mentioned here LTE, there is an interface. Interfacings will be given here. Okay, now look at this one. Your user equipment is interfaced to the E node B, means a tower, through the UU. Okay, that is what UU interface. Okay, means my mobile phone is interfaced to the nearby base station. The base station we call it the E node B. Okay, through UU, and each base stations are interfaced with the protocol X2. Interfacing X2. Now, if sometime if I say X2 is nothing but you have to assume that it is the interface between the two towers. If I say UU is the interface between the mobile phone and the towers, it may be the tower, may be anything. Okay. Now, if there is like a interface between an E node B and the serving gateway, we call it the S1 interface. Serving gateway means a top side. You just go from bottom to top. It's a S1 interface. In the S1 interface, that is nothing but MME. Okay. Okay. In the previous also I discussed here E node B and MME through S1 interface. In the MME, we have so many components. Okay, look at this one. There is a serving gateway, PDN gateway, PCRF, SGSN, UTRN, GERN, HSS. Okay, these are the basic components which will be coming in LTE network architecture. We'll see one by one what are the components and what are the operation of this. Okay, now this is the first component, it's a mobile terminal, and the second E node B, it is nothing but a base station. Okay, as we have seen in the previous diagram. Okay, it's a logical node in EUTRN. Okay, the functions will be defined as a RNC. It's a base station, means radio network controller. Okay, there is an interfacing between a mobile phone and the network is through RNC. That is means all the way it is a wireless communication. And the third component is a mobility management entity, MME, is similar in function to the control plane. It is a legacy GPRS. Okay, as I discussed, the many components will be available. You should assume that there are the basic components will be available for the LTE architecture. Okay, each components of like MME. Okay, we'll see serving gateway. A serving gateway terminates the interface towards EUTRN and routes data packets between EUTRN and EPS. This is the job. It's a routing of a packets. And also it is intercept and between the networks for a policy management. Okay, policy management is nothing but like sometime you might be having, okay, what we say is a service management. Okay, like a call rates, sometime call rate, or you must be having, you should have authentication data management. Okay, those are all will be included here. A policy management means there is a subscriber might be having fixing some like a management techniques through which you should agree, through which you have to proceed. Okay, now packet data network gateway is a PDN. It terminates the SGI interface toward the packet data. Okay, there is a public packet data network. It routes data packets in between EPC and the external PDN. Okay, it is a kind of like IP network architecture through which the multimedia subsystems domains through which the operation will be happening. Okay, as I discussed, SI interface is an interface between EUTRN and EPC. Okay, X2 interface is an interface between E node B and E node B. There is a multiple E nodes. Okay, it's a protocol stack. What we'll see, okay, in detail. In the control plane, we have RRC, PDCP, RLC, MAC layer, PHY layer. Okay, it is a stack, LTE protocol stack. Okay, now we'll see in detail what are the components, what are the functions of this. Okay, RRC, radio resource control. Radio resource control layer performs the control plane functions, including paging maintenance and release of RRC, radio network connectivity. Means once the user is accessing a radio network, all the way he is getting connected with the frequency. Once the operation is completed, it has to be disconnected. Means there is a connection and disconnection will be maintained here. Packet data convergence protocol, PDCP, through which a routing of a data protocols, means routing of a data packets, it will be performed here. Okay, now RLC, okay, RLC, there is a through which, okay, your all the data, okay, the main functions, okay, there is a sub layer, okay, there is a segmenting and concatenation of a data units. Means usually it will collect all the data from the multiple nodes, and it will make a big packet. Okay, something like if at the at the receiver's end, okay, multiple data packets are reaching. Okay, it will collect all the data and make a one bundle data, and it will hand it over to the receiver. When it is transmitting, it will make into the small packets. segmenting and transmit here. And the very important operation of this one is automatic repeat request. Means if there is like a error will be occurred in the packet, or packet will be getting damaged, okay, immediately there is like a request will be triggered from the receiver end, that the packet request, automatic request, okay, means noise will be occurred so that it will be automatically triggered from the receiver, so that it will requesting to the transmitter to retransmit back. Okay, now transparent mode is a simplest one, without RLC, header, addition, data segmentation or concatenation, and it is used for a specific purposes such as random access. And unacknowledged mode, okay, is unacknowledged mode in which continuously data will be transmitted without having acknowledged. It should not be wait for any acknowledgement. Okay, means if it is acknowledged, once packet will be transmitted, it is waiting for acknowledgement. Okay, there is an acknowledged mode. Unacknowledged means packet has been continuously transmitting without waiting for any kind of acknowledgement. Okay, that is what AM and UM, unacknowledged mode, acknowledged mode. There is only one RLC entity at the E node B and the user equipment per bearer. Okay, a MAC is a medium access control. Okay, it is similar to the operation like a TCP and ISO. It includes error correction through hybrid automatic request. Okay, as I discussed, automatic request. Okay, if there is a error is occurred in the packet, that will be rectified in the MAC layer. Okay, there is a mapping between the logical channels and transport channels, and also multiplexing, demultiplexing of RLC, PDUs, packet data unit on the transport blocks, and also priority handling between logical channels of one UE, there is user equipment, and priority handling between user equipments. Okay, that is MAC sublayer is also responsible for transport format selection of scheduled user equipments, which includes selection of modulation formats, code rate, MIMO rank, and power levels. There is only one MAC entity at the E node B and one MAC entity at the user equipment. Okay, the next layer will be like a physical layer. The main function of physical layer is actual transmission. Okay, what is the media in wireless communication? Is nothing but air. Okay, through which air the data will be transmitted. Okay, in data in forms of like a transport blocks. The PHY is also responsible for various control mechanisms such as signaling, HARQ, feedback, signaling of scheduled allocation, and channel measurements. This is what the protocol stack. Okay, it's an overview of LTE architecture. Okay, how it will be following here. Okay, PHY, physical layer, MAC layer, RLC layer, and PDCP layer. Okay, each layer will be okay. In the right side, you may see that it is in the form of like a data packets. Okay, IP packets. Okay, we call it as a IP packets through which the data will be routing here. Okay, a packet data units. Okay, in further we will discuss on how the packet format and what are the data contents of each layer. Okay, we will see here. Okay, I hope you understood the protocol stack and the architecture of LTE, and each layer functions will be detailed given here. It's like transport mode. Okay, these are the very important terminology frequently used in LTE. The like a transparent mode, unacknowledged mode, acknowledged mode. Okay, I hope you understood from the today's class. Thank you.